Hello and welcome back to Our Shared Lie. We'll be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is where the main character is basically at a coliseum or palace or something. There was like some statues outside and they had writing in place of eyes. So yeah, the character is about to like basically walk in and, yeah. That's really all that's going on right now. So yeah. Anyways, let's continue and see what happens. The floor is now made of dark, more polished type of stone. The room is decorated with a series of arches, brilliant ceramics, and hundreds of marble structures, a vast variety of sizes and designs. None of the sculptures seem to invoke a memory in me. To me, they are just another decoration. I can see the dust and dirt particles in the air. Natural light is the only thing that allows me to see in the place. Although, on second thought, it could be rare for this place to have lighting of any kind in the condition it is in. Walking further inside, I allow myself to carefully admire several of the details of the walls and columns that keep this place standing. For some reason, I feel like I'm in the presence of fine craftsmanship, even though I don't know anything about architecture. Do I? I shake my head as soon as the thought crosses my mind. Stop thinking about it. Overthinking won't help anything. I keep walking desperately for something that could distract my mind. For my fortune, it doesn't take me long to find something in which I could unload my doubts. At the end of the room, there is a large tunnel obstructed by metal bars that block the passage. Inside the tunnel, in the distance, I can make out a dim light, at which seems to be the end of the tunnel. Try going this way, because there's no other way. I can't go that way. Although it's not that I want to, but maybe there is something inside that can be useful. What do you think, big guy? I ask the air, waiting for someone's opinion, but that opinion never comes. Wait a second. Something is missing here, or rather, someone is missing. 933? My mind decides to work and remind me of the existence of the line. I look in all directions, but there is no one. He got in before me. Right? Yes, I am sure of that. You can come out now, Don Comedy. You're not going to scare me. 933, this is not funny. Big guy? Within seconds of realizing that I am now all alone, an icy, paralyzing sensation runs down my spine. Like my own skin is pressing down and suffocating my own body. I squirm. I feel my snout start to burn because of my sporadic movements. No, he must be in this place. Surely he... Surely he went ahead and went looking for another entrance. Yes, that must be it. Then I just have to find him. It'll be easy. I'll be fine. I take a breath, make sure my body is calm enough for my paws to stop shaking. I steel myself and start moving my legs in a dull but steady pace that allows me to keep my balance in my state. I walk around focused on finding the line, the details on the structure that I previously appreciated becoming blurred. The meaning and importance of things are lost in my brain, now being shadows that only pass through my eyes. Since the structure has an oval shape, the whole way seems to be curved as if reality had been modified. There are flights of stairs that seem to lead to upper floors, but something tells me he wouldn't be there. My brain, despite having lost all the information that makes me my being, is still looking to appeal to logic. My mind may not know who I am, but it is still doing its job to make sure that I don't die. An instinct makes me want to get out of here as fast as possible. A thought. A single thought that seems to be the most irrational thing in the world appears in my mind. What if the lion doesn't exist? My paws tremble. Why? Why have I come to question if he is really real and not a creation of my mind? That's important, unless... Perhaps he was my mind's way of dealing with shock. And now that I can stand and think, he is no longer needed. Sounds logical if you think about it. Why would anyone wait for someone to wake up from a comatose state? that would just take time out of the day that could otherwise ensure your survival. Unless, of course, he doesn't need to survive. He was always calm and he gave me a good idea of what to do. For now, we should learn as much as we can about this place. For example, what is the name of this place? Are there more people here? Is there a way to escape? What about food and living arrangements? Not to mention things vital to survival, so the number one priority will be finding the others, and then trying to find water or food. He's not real, is he? When he touched me on the shoulder, it felt real. No. Lucien, don't think about that. Stop. I said stop. This is my brain just trying its best to make the idea of leaving him appealing. But the other part of me, that emotional part, it is stronger, and I couldn't live with the guilt if I walked out of here just like that, knowing that I abandoned someone who didn't abandon me in this crazy situation. He is real. Me too. I'm scared. I am weak from being afraid. Have I always thought that being afraid is wrong? Who am I? I hate feeling this way. Why am I in this situation? Ugh! Tears began to form in my eyes. I quickly wiped them away with my sleeve. Even though no one is looking, I feel like it is wrong to cry. I feel like I don't have the right. Being alone doesn't do me any good. Just keep going. Huh? I no longer know if it is my mind showing me what I want to see or if it is reality. But my eyes catch sight of a tuft of brown hair slipping into the distance before it disappears from view. It is a tail, a long thin tail with a bush of brush-like hairs at the end. That's a lion's tail. I quicken my pace, trusting that my senses are not playing tricks on me. When I get to where I supposedly saw the tail of AI 933 disappear, there is a long tunnel. A tunnel similar to the one that I saw when entering this place, but without the metal bars that prevented the passage. Would it be correct to call it a corridor? It's a transitional medium connecting to points after all, a place you shouldn't stay in for too long. A dim white light at the end of the corridor is all that I can make out. My mind returns to the question from before. Why would anyone wait for me to wake up from a comatose state? Why a cliff where nothing can be seen below? Why a yellowish plain? Why is no one else here? Why does it look like I am... Lucien wouldn't do that to me. She wouldn't. But can I guarantee that? After all, I don't remember who I was or what I did before I woke up here. What nonsense, my mind is just filling in the blanks with what little knowledge I have. If I follow the tunnel, I will get to the center of this place. That's it. And there he will be. Big guy. I call hoping to hear something other than my heartbeat and my own breathing. But there is no answer. I go into the tunnel. Regret washes over me immediately. Walking towards the light in a dark tunnel doesn't sound like something that could end well. My eyes adjust to the darkness, the dim source of light now the only thing that I can make out. My reality has been flipped. The dim white light at the final stretch is gone. Instead, the arched opening is engulfed in darkness. A latent darkness that presses on my muscles, preventing them from responding to my commands. It is freezing, icy, and crippling. My arms refuse to separate from my torso. My cheeks feel tight, and the corners of my mouth atrophy. The ground is covered in sand. My toes feel the sand as something normal and familiar that helped me keep walking. My cheeks burn. My saliva is now starting to taste sweet. How long has it been since I ate or drank something? The light begins to play tricks. Figures appear on the walls and floor. Some glow, others are made of shadows. Some are both. I can tell how the light moves whenever I put my attention. I play with it. It is at my will. It's not fast enough to follow my commands. No, it's not that. My eyes are unable to see the movement, but it's there. It does what I want. I won. I've won. My cheeks stop burning. Finally, I make it to the part of the tunnel that is bathed in light, an opening just like the one that I entered through. I can't see anything on the other side apart from the color white. I am left in the dark for a few moments before wondering if this was a good idea. Do I even know where I am? If I am dead, I should get as far away from this place as possible instead of going into the light. If I'm still alive, but the lion isn't real, then my mind wants me to see whatever is behind this tunnel. Right? Accept your fate. Let's get this over with. I keep walking, even knowing that I might regret what I find. I go forward. It takes me a few moments to get used to the brightness of the star. The colors of the infinite sky return to me just like the first time that they were seen by my eyes. There is no ceiling to block out the light. The ground is now made of whiter sand, which gives me warm and cozy feeling to my feet. My skin now feels warm. My eyes detail the large rectangular space that is reminiscent of a playing field. The place is surrounded by bleachers, making it look like you were in an amphitheater. Tall metal fences separate these bleachers from the sand-covered ground in an oval shape. On the floor, there are targets and huge wooden boxes scattered like it is part of an obstacle course. And in the middle of it all... Hey there! Wow, you took your time. A little longer, and I thought that I was going to have to go find you. The lion is standing in the middle of the field with a posture full of pride, an innocent and childish pride devoid of arrogance. Looks like I've won. Now then, what's the prize for the winner? 933. Yes. That's my name. Without thinking, I run to where the lion is. I hurry so much that when I'm about to get there, I start to stumble. Until I end up tripping, making it look like I threw my body on top of him. He wraps his arms around me, keeping me from falling to the ground and further messing up my damaged snout. Hey, careful! Gently, he strains my body, leaving me standing a few inches from him. There you are, safe and sound. You are still very weak. You should not run in that state. The action takes me by surprise. I see his goofy smiling face again, so warm and innocent. I can't help but wrap my arms around him, pulling him into a hug. I can feel his breathing quicken from his jogging. He seems somewhat surprised, but he doesn't try to push me away at any time. He finally plays along and returns my touch, dropping his paws behind my back. Because of the size difference between us, my face is on the fur of his neck and chest. A faint scent of natural vanilla permeates my nose. My senses make sure to take a good portion of the scent as I nuzzle his soft, warm fur. He is real. Oh. Is this my prize for winning? I'm not sure if I really like it. I separate my body from his with a gentle push now, aware of what I've done. I'm just happy to see you again and that you're here. Did I just hug him like that? I know my mind was in a labyrinth psychological torture chamber a moment ago, but I've only known him for an hour at most. Hey, you look pale. Is everything okay? No. No, it's not. Why did you disappear when we came in here? I almost had a heart attack when I saw you weren't there. I thought something had happened to you. Obviously, I'm not going to tell him about the part where I thought he was a figment of my imagination and almost gave up on him. I expect the lion to protest my words, realizing that I'm being a total jerk right now, letting my emotions speak for me. He's not my bodyguard or anything like that. He has no obligation to take care of me. I'm the one being totally irrational here. No, you're not. I'm about to apologize and agree with how wrong and dramatic I'm being when the lion cuts my words short. I'm fine. Sorry to worry you. You stayed at the entrance looking at the sculptures for a while, and I wanted to win the race. I should have thought things through. Now that I say it out loud, it sounds pretty silly. As I said before, you are still very weak and you shouldn't run in that state. And I propose that we have a race, as stupid as I am. Forgive me, no matter how hard I try, I always seem to find a way to inadvertently hurt you. I am really sorry. You are... Seriously, I can't be mad at you even if I wanted to. You can try a little harder to be mad. It's okay. It's okay, I'm sorry too. What? You're sorry? Why? I'm the one who abandoned you. But it's me who makes it a big deal. I'm a drama queen. No, you're not. You're alone in this mysterious place. This guy drags you along to this coliseum and then disappears on you. Yeah, you're not being the drama queen. And you didn't abandon me. I was just drowning in a glass of water. That is not physically possible. That's not the point. And I'm sorry for yelling. Don't worry. Lucien, I'm a terrible person. Come on, brain, think of something before the tension kills me, since you are so good at creating imaginary scenarios. Although now that I think about it, it's not fair that you finished the race without me knowing. I thought the goal was at the entrance, therefore, you cheated. I smile. I bare my teeth as much as my tarnished snout can allow. The lion immediately, seeing my bad mood, has disappeared. Nuh-uh, I won fair and square. Look at me, I clearly have a runner's body. With that said, the lion displays his biceps with panache. Runner, more like a whole truck. Now that I get a good look at him, I haven't noticed that despite his enormous size, there is a fair amount of muscle on his body. Soft in some places, but strong in others. Fits his personality, I guess? Congratulations, you beat a dying man. I aim at the gauze on my snout. It isn't in pain, but I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to make him feel bad if I can. I forgot that detail. I'm sorry, does it hurt a lot? Lucien, give me strength so I don't feel so bad about joking with this lion. Don't worry, I'm kidding. It's just a little bit. I'm just poking fun. The lion smiles candidly, although I can tell how tense the fur on his back is. I'm glad it turned out that way. I apologize again. It is thoughtless of me to make you run in your condition. You're right about that, but I think you're apologizing more than enough. I'm fine. Really? Are you sure? I'm pretty sure. Just don't do it again. And relax. Your voice is funny when you're worried. Heh, really? Dead serious, big guy. The lion smiles, his shoulders slumping in relief, his expression turning curious. What is something like that doing in this place? Excuse me? Hey, are you seeing this? What are those things over there? What things? The lion points in the direction behind my back. I follow the movements of his paws on instinct. When I turn around, I understood what has AL-933 so intrigued. Dozens of weapons supports spread out in a long line under the stands. Each support is crammed with a specific type of weapon with variations in their sizes and designs. There is a holder for swords, another for axes, another for spears, another for daggers, and so on. Swords, axes, and spears. It looks like the weapon triangle is complete. The lion comments with a chuckle. I couldn't feel quite as calm as him, having those weapons in sight. What are these doing here? My ears perk up and register a thumping impact, followed by a sound similar to wood breaking. Without thinking twice, I take cover behind one of the several wooden boxes scattered around the place. AL-933 follows my lead and hides behind a target adjacent to the box I'm hiding in. I'm kinda surprised how the lion reacted the same way in this situation, but I don't have time for that right now. My body acts on its own. I crouch down and tippy-toe towards the sound like a white-collar thief. My feet don't fail me. They move in the sand without creating a fuss until I reach another big box big enough to hide my body. There are skid marks in the sand around the box. Has anyone moved them recently? My ears are moving like crazy trying to catch any information that could be useful to me. The arena is big, but if there is something else on the other side of this place, it is very likely that it has already seen us and listened. I stick my nose out the side of the box. As I scrutinize the direction where we heard the sound, I observe, judging by its ears, what I think is a feline with somewhat rough clothing. A person. A male on top of a set of various wooden boxes. My eyes follow the movement of his arms and how, with these, they are destroying one of the boxes with the axe that he carried in his paws. He must have gotten it from one of the supports. The supports. My body moves to the nearest weapon support. My paw grasps the handle of a sword. I have no idea what kind of sword it is, just that it's long enough to stand a good chance of hitting and sharp enough to slice through flesh. I never hesitated to tighten my grip on the weapon because now I'm not afraid. Because this is real. Something I can touch, something that I can take care of. The weapon, despite its size, is light and malleable. I cleave the sword through the air between us. Before I know it, I am growling. I feel my body tense up. My face hurts from how hard I am grimacing. Even though I am unable to move my tail, I can feel it curling right now. The sound of destruction stops. Silence is the only thing that reaches my ears apart from my heartbeat. So you've already noticed us, I pluck up my courage once again and stick my nose out of the side of the box. There he is, looking in our direction with an axe on his shoulder. I prepare for the worst. I am more than ready to do whatever it takes to survive. I don't want to, but if it's him or me, I'm going to find out what the sky is going on in this place, and no one is going to stop me. Before I can launch into an attack, however, AL-933 catches my attention with a gesture of his paw. He wants me to lower the sword. What? Of course not. I'm not going to be left unarmed against a stranger. I'm not going to risk it. I shake my head quickly. The lion now has a worried face. He raises his paws and begins to move them gently, pointing in the direction of the ground. Is he trying to calm me down? No, don't. I say as deadpan as I can so the stranger doesn't hear us. The lion sighs, gives me a candid look, and turns his back on me. Without saying anything, he sheds his hiding place and walks forwards towards the strange feline, raising his arms with a huge smile. I knew it. This guy is insane. The strange feline immediately notices the presence of the lion and raises his weapon, preparing to attack. 145! It's me, 933! The feline stops the movement of his axe. He turns to see the lion with an incredulous expression. Now that he has turned around, I can see him more clearly. He is a one-eyed tiger with striped orange and brown fur. His face, despite the huge scar over his left eye, now lacks rudeness and is instead full of curiosity. But not an innocent curiosity like AL-933's. It is something more cautious, as if he is in a state of alert. His outfit is intriguing, and I feel like I've seen it before, but I can't figure out exactly what it reminds me of. Memory problems, of course. The tiger lowers his axe, scratches at the fur on his neck, and lets out a long yawn. Oh, it's you. Ave. The lion approaches without hesitation and wraps his big arms around the tiger, as if it is a meeting of felines that have known each other all their lives. What? What's going on here? Please, let me go. The tiger's voice is thick and dull compared to AL-933's bell-like one. AL-933 gives him one last squeeze before releasing his grip and letting out an awkward laugh. Thanks. Have you been told that you have an abnormal amount of strength in those arms? Sorry. It's okay, no hard feelings. I guess you needed it. Loneliness is dangerous. I thought you would never come. I was already thinking that what the fox said would come true. 119 said to ignore him. Don't worry. Aside, There are more important things now, mate. They already know each other. Does that mean that he also woke up on the cliff just like us? Of course. He is one of the 6 people the lion mentioned. How come I didn't think of that before? Come on, me. I have to be smarter if I want to survive in this place. The important thing here is to figure out what's going on. Hey, cheer up! I am here or not? Alive and kicking. If you're here, that means... The tiger turns his gaze on me. The gaze of his functional eye penetrates my body more effectively than the daggers scattered in the stands around this place would. His face is devoid of any emotion. I can see you. Gulp. I swallow hard. He knew I was here this whole time. Yes, I know you're there. I can hear your breathing from here. I also heard when you took the sword. You weren't subtle at all. How did I not think of that? It is obvious that he would notice. I pray that the earth will swallow me right now so I don't have to endure this humiliation. I am not going to hurt you, Argento. You can put the sword down. Argento? You see, I come out of hiding with just my paws, like a criminal cornered by justice. I drop the sword on the sand and then kick it towards the supports with haste. I walk up to both felines trying to act like nothing happened. Act natural, act natural. It was just a precaution in case of self-defense, of course. I would never attack another person unless it is necessary. The tiger examines my body with his eye, as a painter would before capturing his work, from the bottom to the top. He finishes by nodding in approval. You're not the type to trust, huh? I like you. If I had been less trusting, I would have still had my left eye. The tiger gives me a half smile. How's your wound? I assume you don't remember how you got it. Oh, does he already know about the wound? Well, if I think about it, it makes sense. He must have seen me when I woke up. Not to mention my muzzle is covered in gauze right now. I'm not very clever today, am I? The pain is bearable, and yes, you assume well. It's understandable. I don't remember how I lost this eye either, so... I guess you must have already guessed from how Bronzo greeted me, but let's ease all doubts with an introduction. An introduction is always necessary to break the ice. Hey, that's my catchphrase. It's not, but even if it was, too late. Now, it's mine. My name, or code according to this thing on my wrist, is PT-145, but please call me Arancioni. I'll also accept if you call me 145. You can count on me to unravel this mystery and make those responsible pay. It's a pleasure. I'm LC-827. No hard feelings about before, the sword and all. Sure. Though... LC, I didn't expect that. What do you mean? Well, it's just that someone else in our group has also LC in their code. Wait, seriously? The two codes with the same letters? Could this be the other wolf that 933 mentioned? If so, then there is a connection between us. LC768 is his name, I remember, although I call him Verde. All this talk about code seems rude to me. I prefer to use colors to differentiate ourselves. It's a good idea, truth be told, but I don't think I can associate AL933 with any other name yet. I'd prefer to continue using the codes until we know our real names, or until each of us has decided on a definitive name. Well, it's a valid naming convention too, not to mention it's easier to remember. But I guess I'll stick with the codes. It feels right for now. Everyone is free to decide what works best for them. So, I'm Argento because my first silver? Basically. Does it bother you? Well, it's not like it's a lie. I'm fine with it. I don't think it's the worst nickname I've ever received. Not like I would remember, though. Hey! Any room left for me in this conversation? No. Oh, of course. Sorry, big guy. I forgot for a moment that the line was there. I didn't think the conversation with 145 would go that smoothly. That's a good thing, getting along with the rest of the cliff partners. Big guy, huh? The tiger raises an eyebrow curiously and smiled. It's not like we left you out on purpose. We're just trying to get to know each other. You have already made an introduction. You already know each other. Are you perhaps afraid that I will take away your schutzling? Let's talk about this arena. What kind of place is this? It's so beautiful. I wonder if there's any kind of power source I could use. He is dodging the question. PT-145 shrugs and chuckles. Oh, right, I forgot. This is new to me as well. I found this place about an hour ago. An hour ago? How long have you guys been awake? I estimate about 5 hours. When I woke up, I noticed that the star was halfway up. Halfway? You know, halfway to its peak, just like it is now. So that means we must have woken up in the 9th hour. Probably, yes. It's already been 5 hours since you woke up. 5 hours in which I was unconscious. Yes, I'm afraid. For the record, some of us, myself included, wanted to try to wake you up earlier, but the others were against it. For my part, I thought it would be better to get rid of the problem at the root and wake you up so that everyone is on the same page. However, some people didn't like the idea very much. They thought it was dangerous given your state. It was quite a debate. There was almost a fight and everything. A fight? There was almost a fight over me? How bad was I when they found me? And a big one. Let's say that one of us suggested to be merciful to you. Who was it? The lion hastily extended his paws, quickly shaking his head. No. I don't think you should know. Understand that at the time, we thought you were. I'm not sure if telling you is going to do any good. Violetto. Arancione. Sooner or later, you'll find out eventually. It was V061. The fox. He claimed you were in a coma and thought it was best to, well, better not say it out loud. I understand. Thanks for telling me, Arancione. 827, please don't do anything crazy. He didn't know what he was talking about. Relax, big guy. I'm only gonna stab him later in his sleep. I won't. I will. Right now, I can't be upset about something so trivial. I can. It still hurts a little to find out about these things, to find out that someone could end everything without even understanding why. Unknown or not, a choice like that isn't easy. That speaks volumes about the kind of person that V061 is. Very pragmatic. I have to keep that in mind for the future. And fine, I'll save that for later. It's good to know who you can trust from the start. Trust is complex. Knowing who to give it to can make the difference between life and death in everyday life, let alone in our current situation. Although, if I were you... The tiger patted AL-933's shoulder with his paw and gave his body a friendly shake while flashing a mischievous grin. This lion here on the other paw was the one who most opposed the idea. He insisted that we should let you rest and wait for a response from you. He even volunteered to keep an eye on you without hesitation. PT-145 gently nudges the lion's belly with his elbow. Really? I mean, if he stayed with you until you woke up, it's because he really cares about you. Hey, don't say it like that. So, how should I say it? It's just that you could see that you had been through a lot. The least you deserved was to get some rest. AL-933 begins scratching the back of his neck nervously. I can see how the lion's cheeks turned slightly red under his fur. 933. Really, thank you very much. Again. It's nothing. I just did what I thought was right. I also thank you. Lucien, I don't even know if I'll be able to thank you properly in the future. You don't have to give me anything. I already told you. I just did what had to be done. Okay. Now it's me who needs to be made room for in this conversation. Hee hee. My smile accompanies the laughter of AL933. Sorry, but I won't laugh again until my wounds have completely healed, even if I want to. Haha, this is the third time you've made me laugh. I'm starting to think that you have a hidden talent. Do you think so? Perhaps. But who am I to say? Alright, enough laughs for now. Going back to the important thing, what have you discovered so far? Oh sure, you need catching up on everything. Well, to begin, it seems that this is the furthest part of the mountain, not taking into account the clear cliff. Wait a second, the furthest? Touring the place, we realize that there are a series of roads that connect the most important points of the entire mountain. He must be talking about those roads that brought us here. The furthest point is this. It's also worth noting that the only way to get to the ridge where we woke up is if you get off-road and head southeast without stopping. Then the ridge is not a place we were expected to return to. You could say that, since there is no road to get there. What's going on here? How did we end up in that place to begin with? No idea. At the moment, the only thing that we can do is work together and understand our situation. Or, so I'd like to say, but I'm afraid that it looks like we'll be our own greatest enemies. What do you mean? The tiger takes aim at the weapon supports on display. The sword I kicked lies conspicuously under the rest of the weapons on the supports. When I arrived, they were already like this, without any kind of lock or security measure. Nothing. They were just like that, waiting for someone to pick one up and use it. PT-145 looks at the axe in his paw, rotating it like it's a carnival toy. Something cold starts to creep up on my back. My tail stays still. I'm sure that it would be the same way even if I could move it. Oh. I get it. Get what? The fact that there are weapons of any kind here without any supervision does not tell you anything? No? Should it? Well, yes. If we have weapons, it's because they want us to have weapons. They? What do you mean by they? Those behind this little game, of course. He, she, they, whoever. If we have weapons, it means that they expect us to use them. But against ourselves? Probably. Nothing is certain. I feel rage hearing the tiger's words. All he does is make us worry about everything even more. He sounds more pragmatic than the lion. He sounds smarter too. But if that was the case, why wake up on the cliff then? If your hypothesis is correct, why don't we just start fighting and that's it? This damn place seems designed for that. I bellow in annoyance, spreading my arms to emphasize the structure where we are now. AL933 is lost in thought. I don't even want to imagine how he is processing this. I really wish that I could help you. But I can't even help myself right now. Look, like I said before, nothing is certain. Then shut up if you don't have anything nice to say. Okay, now you're being unreasonable. I can see the effort of my words on PT-145. He wasn't expecting such a response from me. Is that really what you're going to say after I pointed out the obvious? Shut up. The tiger's face is now devoid of emotion. I have no worry of interpreting how he may be feeling. Or can't you stand me telling it like it is? Don't change the subject in your favor. If everything you have said on the subject is nothing more than reasons to worry us even more instead of solutions, it's best that we drop the subject. The last thing that we need right now is to fall into pessimism. Hey, calm down. I'm not taking anything for granted. We don't even know if we're supposed to be in this place to begin with. Maybe there's an event that can only happen once we're all here or something. Isn't that a bit too dramatic? My ears perk up as I hear the lion's voice again. It seems that he has begun to understand the situation we are in. Rather, he seems to understand what those weapons mean for our current situation. I need to stop worrying so much about him. For my own good. He is the one who has been helping me since I woke up, not the other way around. Well, maybe a little, but wouldn't that be the point? This place looks like an amphitheater, but it's not. These targets, boxes, and weapon supports, it's all so convenient. I have no idea. This is going to sound crazy, but I think these supports and weapons have been brought here from somewhere else. I mean, from somewhere else on this site. Wait, I think you're right. I've noticed that there are some marks in the sand around the boxes. Surely that's the explanation for that. Now that you mention it, I noticed it too. Besides, it doesn't seem like this place was intended to house this type of material and weapons. Everything is placed in a crowded way, and there doesn't seem to be a place to store it. The shape and construction of this place, it's not suitable for a practice range. Not for weapons practice, at least. Exactly. But what if the people in charge aren't very bright at all? What if all of these technical things interest them as little as our lives, and they thought that anything was enough? I can see that. The way the stands are so close to the pitch, and their composition. It doesn't make much sense if this place was planned to be used for weapons testing. I see what you're saying. To me, this place looks more like the inside of a miniature coliseum than a practice range. Now that I think about it, it reminds me of the small coliseum in Galeazzo that can barely hold 1,000 people. Have you seen a coliseum from the inside? What have I done? Have I inadvertently remembered something? Another place? Galeazzo. Yes, I have. I knew there was something in this place that seemed familiar to me. Yes, I think so. I just remembered, have you guys never been inside a coliseum? Nope. But don't listen to me, I don't remember anything clearly right now. No. That I remember. I know that it is, but I don't know what it looks like. It's so frustrating. These memory problems. But how come you remember that? He also remembered something when we were walking. The name of a dukedom. I didn't even remember what a dukedom was until he mentioned it. A dukedom? The fur on the tiger's face turns white. His tail begins to curl nervously. Now that's a strange reaction. He had shown no problem in pointing out that we may have to kill each other, so why does the name of a duchy scare him? Not a big deal, I just remembered something I thought was familiar, not useful at all. Dukedom. Hey, I have a question for you. The tiger's face has regained some of its original color. I wonder what he is thinking. What defines what can be remembered? How much do you remember from before? Well, as I understand it, we have amnesia, and in my case, I didn't even know who I was when I woke up. Now that my mind has partially processed the situation I am in, I have remembered some things, but nothing personal. I can say the same. I only remember data and studies about physics. Nothing about my personal life, family, or friends. Nothing. I can't help but feel a little sad hearing the lion say that. I don't remember much either. Well, that's obvious seeing that my name is not like yours. I mean, PT-145 is a weird name. That's why I prefer colors. I remembered something just now, though. Something that seems right to me. I'm inclined to think that this place could be a Calexpilacio stadium or something to do with sports. That may have been its real purpose. Calexpilacio? Huh. That would make sense. Wow, I didn't even remember such a basic concept as I'm not gonna pronounce that word, it sounds like a typo. Until you mentioned it. Now that you said it, it makes sense. Quite a lot of sense. My tongue gets tangled trying to pronounce that word. I know it's the first time that I've heard that word, but it feels like I've heard it before. What I just thought doesn't make sense. Stupid amnesia. I think I'll just refer to this place as an arena to avoid any problems. Yes, let's refer to it as an arena. What is whatever that word is? It's a sport, right? At least I think it is. I don't remember the rules though. As I recall, yes. It's a sport. And it's the most popular sport in the world, actually. I think. Do you think? Just as you think that there is a they against us? Make fun of it all you want. Don't say I didn't warn you later. What? You have returned to bringing up the subject despite saying that it is for the best to leave it. It's your fault. If I wasn't so weak, I'd put you in your place right now. I'm pretty sure that they could put you in your place. All that they stuff aside, what were you doing before we got here, 145? True, thinking about it a bit, how come he didn't realize that we were here when we crossed through the tunnel? Right, what were you doing? Oh, and thanks for reminding me, big guy. I've had that question for a while, too. Come to think of it, what was he trying to do by smashing that box? I was breaking this box, of course. I wasn't reinventing the wheel. Yes, I see, but why were you trying to break the box? Or what were you trying to do? After wandering around the place for a while, I wanted to be alone, for no particular reason. I just wanted to get away from it all for a bit. Giaio suggested to gather some wood in case we needed for fire, so I was breaking the box. Giaio is 119 in case you were wondering, Argento. He added in the most condescending way I've ever heard. Thank you for your consideration. So I thought I'd get started on the task. Although the truth is, I have a suspicion that these boxes may have something inside. Something like what? Anything that's useful against the idiot who came up with the idea of kidnapping us and possibly erasing our memory. Now they can erase minds? This is getting more surreal by the second. And have you any luck? The boxes are incredibly tough to break. I'll be here for a while. I'm not sure if there's anything useful inside. I think I was just looking for an excuse to hit something and drain my anger. This whole situation irritates me. There's something more upsetting than feeling like you're not in control. I feel nauseous that this is happening. Seriously, I swear that once they show up, I'll play their stupid game until I can kill them with my own claws. He is really convinced that there is someone behind all of this, that there is someone who wants us to. How can we be sure that they want us to get hurt? We don't know. I don't know. But as far as I know, we could be a part of our own group, while in another part of this place, there is a whole other group of people. Let's say 8 other people. Maybe there are women or people of other species. And we are expected to kill each other because, I don't know, do we have to decide which sex or species is the most skilled? That's the best scenario. That is your best case scenario? Yes. If we are a team, doing what needs to be done will be easier. But if it's a survival game between us... The tiger falls silent. Is he saying what I think he's saying? This goes beyond talking about thinking and creating panic amongst us. This... No, you're not going to. No. I stretch my claws and display my fangs, focused on my prey. My action creates tickles in my arms and stabbing pain in my face. But it doesn't matter. There's only one thing that matters right now. You are... Something hairy and firm stops my body. It's AL-933. He pushes his paw against my chest. The lion gives me a hard squeeze that makes me look him in the eye. He has that same candid look he wore when he came out of hiding to talk to the tiger. It is clear that he wants to tell me, trust me. I immediately regret showing my fangs. The needles piercing my skull return once more. The pain brings me back to my senses. I watch my claws, my fur, how my body is reacting. What am I doing? Was I really going to? I nodded. The embarrassment had created a lump in my throat. He lets go of me with a sheepish smile. The lion has a gleam in his eyes that could pierce through steel. Without saying anything, he steps forward to face the tiger. PT-145 turns away, refusing to explain what he said. He doesn't even seem to have cared what happened a few seconds ago. His mind is not with us. AL-933 lowers his head a little and looks him straight in the eye. Why are you so convinced that we are here to hurt each other? He asks with that characteristic kindness as he places his paws on the tiger's shoulders. PT-145 doesn't protest. I already told you, I am not sure. The lion is not pleased with that answer. He urges him not to stop talking. Did we do something wrong? Does our presence make you uncomfortable? What the sky are you talking about? Of course not. I like you guys. Everything was fine until... Doesn't matter now. You can tell me. Doesn't matter if I tell you. What has been said is said. The tiger places the axe he is carrying in front of him like a shield. You are just like him. Are you talking about 476? No, you guys are better company than that stupid bear. Arancion, you don't have to talk like that about one of our comrades. Comrades? 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 This ain't a fucking retreat, Bronzo. I know that. PT-145 pushes the lion's paw away before leaping on top of a wooden box in a swift movement of both legs. Now he is the one looking down below so that he could talk to the lion. Now he is the tallest and loudest, someone with more power than the others. I am the one who realizes what deep shit we're in. Just because you guys don't want to see it doesn't mean I'm going to play along. We're screwed. That's the only truth there is now. When are you guys going to understand? When? PT-145 clamps his jaw shut and squeezes the axe handle in his paw. Any further words are decimated and replaced by the sordid sound of the wind blowing across the sand. The outburst of anger concluded, he demands his right to keep the rest of his profane statement to himself. His anger has subsided, but the uncertainty of the future is still present in the same way that the pain is still attached to me like piercing nails in my skull. The tiger's vision drifts to an imaginary fixed point. His right eye lacks focus. His face is sullen, grim. Any denomination would serve to refer to his face a few friends of his. A fierce and angry face to behold, but one that is also sad. Perhaps it's my imagination, perhaps it's the guilt that my gut reaction is generating in me, but I cannot ignore what my eyes see. A weak and silent anxiety manifests through his countenance. A muffled whistle escapes from his lips, giving way to the sound of bones clashing, more precisely the sound of his teeth colliding. Is he shivering? Why is he? I'm the one who should be shivering, not him. Sounds very selfish. AL-933 tries to reason with him once more, but the tiger's trembling face expresses disgust. Just that, disgust. But never mind. 145, I just know that I should always be prepared for the worst. Always. I'm just being honest with you. Whether I say it or not, what I think won't change. Consider this a warning. The way he says that. Now it is the lion's turn to keep quiet, his lips sealed at the tiger's declaration. A lot of things are going through my mind right now. The pain on my face is present again, wrapping around me and pummeling my nerves. Why did I react like that? I shouldn't have let my emotions make me do what I did. Now the pain has returned and everything has gotten worse. If I had stayed quiet, maybe. I feel like my legs wanted to give in to gravity. AL-933 notices this and runs over to put his body in front of me to serve as a foothold. Without hesitation, I drop my weight onto the Great Lion's chest. 127, are you okay? AL-933 gently takes me in his arms. The coppery brown strands of his mane fall across my forehead, blocking my vision. Don't feel ashamed, you're still weak. You need time to recover, you shouldn't make sudden movements. Hold on a bit and try to breathe slowly. I nod as best as I can with my painful state. Calm down, 827. Take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. That is it. You can do it. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Being so close to the lion comforts me. His natural aroma permeates my nose. A combination of vanilla and musk envelops my body. I'm fine. Or at least I will be. I stand up again on my own merit. Even though I'm dizzy, I feel that standing up is the best thing for me now. I knew you could. I knew you were someone strong, mate. Heh. If I didn't feel so much pain, I'd agree with you and smile. I guess you owe me a smile then. I guess so. The tiger has his feet on the ground again. I think it's time for you two to go and explore other areas. My ears perk up. I didn't expect to hear his voice again. I wouldn't want it to get dark without knowing the rest of the place. Really? Now you're going to act like nothing happened? I can't understand you, Arancioni. We have started so well. How did it end up like this? Because you're kind of a douche. You, wolf dude, not the tiger. Is that how it will be for the rest? I'm already sick of this place. I'll play along if it gets me out of here faster. Yes. That's a good idea. The tiger has his head up, but he has no attention on any of us. He is looking at nothing. From here you can go west or north, using the roads to see the rest. I see. Thank you for the information. You're welcome. What do you think, 827? Shall we go west or go north? You decide. For me, whatever you want is fine. Let's go west. Before I can decide which option seems more attractive, PT-145 interrupts my words. The North Road will interest you more, trust me. As with the other things as well. The same road connects all of this place, so while you're on it, there is no risk of getting lost. That means that the road to the west and the road to the north are the same thing in the long run. Then we will take into account what you said. North it will be. No. What? We'll go west. I want to go there. The lion looks at me confused but doesn't protest. Alright. West it shall be. AL-933 turns to PT-145 with a smile. See you in a bit? That's for sure. PT-145 looks at me suspiciously but doesn't say anything. I decide to be the one to step in. Goodbye. For now. We'll be seeing each other. As if that were a signal, the tiger turns around and raises an axe in his paw and continues hitting one of the wooden boxes he is trying to break. The conversation is over. Once a good deal of the pain in my nose dissipates, I begin to walk. AL-933 follows me silently back through the tunnel. This time we stay together all the way back to the huge entrance. The floor of the place now seems to be dirty. The room with a series of arches and hundreds of marble sculptures invokes boredom. The dust and the dirt particles in the air are now suffocating. The natural light gives me hope that I will never have to return to this place. We pass through the gigantic arch-shaped opening. The doors, still fully open, are a portal that return us to reality. The wild yellow metal welcomes us again. We have returned. We have returned to this colossal plain full of gravel and grass. Here we are again. Yes, we are still here. Still here? I can feel the uncertainty emanating from his body. If you have a question, ask it. I'm not going to get mad. The last thing that I need right now is an awkward silence. If we're going to talk about what happened, we have to do it now. You're upset. Do you think so? I know it wasn't the best first impression, but I didn't think it was that bad. Anyone can have a misunderstanding for carrying a sword for self-defense. I'm sure it's a very common mistake. Do you really think that I'm worried about that? A little. I've thought about the reasons, and it's the one that fits me the most. Start on the wrong foot. I don't care that I made a fool of myself in front of him. Right now, that's the least of my worries. Then why are you so upset? You were tense from the beginning, and then everything seemed to be going well until... Until? You provoked him. I didn't provoke him. Yes, you did. Didn't you see how he threatened us? No, he didn't. He was just being dramatic. No, he wasn't. Dramatic? Weren't you there when he said that he'd do whatever it takes? A27, you seriously can't see it. See what? You're scared. You're scared and you can't see it. And that's fine, it's normal. Anyone would be afraid in this situation, and not wanting to accept it is also normal. It is normal to want to be in control. But the thing he said... So that's the point. You didn't want to hear all that stuff, did you? Something resonates deep in my mind when I hear those words. I didn't want to... listen to him? He won't hurt us. He doesn't want to hurt us either. After saying what he said, after threatening us, how can he be so sure he won't? Because I saw his face when he said it. He's scared too. I won't say that I know him like the pads on my paws, but I've been with him longer than you, even if it was just a few hours. And I'm sure that he didn't mean anything he said. Not only that, he is terrified. He's probably worse off than us, though he'll never admit it. How come your emotional intelligence is so high? 933, everything that is happening is too much for anyone. But I want you to know that I'm sorry for acting like a child. Don't apologize to me. We're all upset, and it could have been worse. Trust me, you just have to give it some time. You know my answer. I trust you. I don't. Thank you, it means a lot that you do. If it makes you feel any better, I'll never leave you alone with him until you say so otherwise. Does that help? A little, although it will be awkward when we meet again. Anything I can do to make you feel better? Can we start walking? I don't want to be here doing nothing. Of course, it will be a pleasure. You must still have some reserve energy having slept more than us. Come on, no racing this time. I would appreciate it. So, West Road you said? Yeah, let's go in that direction. I wanted to contradict 145, but I'm genuinely intrigued by what we might find. The best to start with? If you want to see this as a normal mountain hiking exploration, then yes, the best to start with. I don't see why we can't explore and have fun at the same time. I would like to agree with you, but... Okay, quiet exploration then. Cool, I appreciate it. A lot. Really, thanks for everything. He just answers with a smile. It might be silly, but that smile is all I needed to get my courage back. And so, just as we begin the journey, we put our feet back on the yellowish grass and later back on the cobblestone road. We move our feet until we reach the intersection of two roads that we passed earlier. This time we follow the road to the west, the opposite direction from the arena. And we walk into the unknown. Prologue to be continued. That was an exceptionally long prologue. And that would be all for now. Thank you very much for playing the first build of Our Shared Lie. It means a lot to us to have made it this far. It still feels unreal that we created our own visual novel. This has so far been a full Latino American project only made by 3 people, 2 Venezuelans and 1 Argentinian. That said, we plan to release a Spanish version later, but we want to focus as much as we can on development before translating into any language. We don't know exactly when the next build will come out, but we are working on it right now. That and there are a lot of things to be perfected. It is very likely that there will be changes in sprites and backgrounds. We hope you like it. Any form of support will be greatly appreciated. Follow us on Twitter and itch.io for more development news. Until the next update. And that's all that is left of, the first build, I think, of Our Shared Lie. So, again, this is a work in progress, but I don't know if you guys noticed it, but unfortunately the writing needs work, because basically by the time that I finished this and I read it through, um it was becoming very painful to read, and like sometimes the dialogue felt stiff and like robotic. Sometimes the dialogue didn't make any sense at all. Sort of like people were just talking and vamping, and y- it was it was becoming a chore to read. So perhaps in the future, as this 3-man team is working on the visual novel, they will get somebody to help them make the dialogue and stuff sound a bit more natural. Because right now it doesn't sound natural. Um, I'm trying to think of an example, but I think one of the things that stuck out to me a lot was when some of the characters were describing things or describing the situation, and it was like they were trying to sound poetic or something, but like at the same time it was like, dude, just say what you want to say. You don't have to sound you don't have to do what you're doing right now. Just say what you want to say and just leave it like that and move on. But no, sometimes it kind of felt like like they were writing more than they needed to, or I guess talking more than they needed to, or thinking more than they needed to. And sometimes it also um it made the conversation just sound very boring. Or sometimes you're like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Just speak like normal people. And that might be just um things being lost in translation. So, well, another thing is that sometimes it kind of felt like they went from, instead of going from point A to point B to point C in the conversation, they went from point A to point C and they missed sort of something in the middle. So you're like, wait, how did you get to this conclusion? Like sometimes where like with the tiger and the MC, where like in one moment they're having a discussion and then all of a sudden like either character just sort of flips and then they get angry and then just like, wait, what? Like, how are you guys fighting now? Like, and but yeah, like the details kind of got missed. So that might be something that has to be checked. Like, like add somebody else to the team that can look at the script and say like, oh yeah, we can rewrite this section so that it sounds better, I guess. You know, just, eh. Like I said, that might be something that's getting lost in translation, where I'm assuming they're primarily Spanish speakers. No hablan español y lo quieren traducir, y cuando lo traducen en inglés, uh, you miss something. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So, write down in the comments what you think so far of this story. Again, it's very pretty, but at least the writing is the only thing to me that stands out that needs a little work. again, I know this is literally the beginning of the story. That it's not going to be perfect. No first build or second build, I don't know, of a visual novel is ever perfect. And nobody expects it to be. It's just like just find somebody that can help with the story at least. Trust me, it'll there are plenty of Latin American visual novel makers like Home Somewhere Else and The Heart of Amethyst. You know, one's from Chile and the other one's from Colombia, that will tell you that it goes a long way to have somebody that helps you with the script, especially if you're going from Spanish to English. Trust me. Anyways, so yeah. So again, comments, write down what you think, and if you would like me to continue reading this when it gets updated. And thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Our Shared Lie yourself, you can find it over on Itch, and you can find a direct link to it from the creator's Twitter page, which I will link down in the description. And if they have any type of Ko-fi or Patreon or whatever, I will link it, down in the description so that you can, support them. And I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.